Hello and welcome to nearly said Beyond the Whiteboard, Around the Whiteboard, but Beyond the Whiteboard sponsor it. So if you want to track your workouts, or if you want to move your entire affiliate system seamlessly over with some guys and girls in suits who come in and, I don't know, do shit to the system and move it over. I don't know. Talk to them about it. btwb.com/all-in-one. And then it's all there and they explain everything and how it works. Welcome to Around the Whiteboard. We've got Scott Switzer, the man who runs Clydesdale Media and everything that surrounds it. We've got Harriet Roberts. It is just after 5 a.m. where she is. And she is a woman who is running every day for the year. Just cause, I guess. And we've got Adam Klink, a man who runs so much, he can only be running from his problems. That's the only possible answer for how much he runs.
So am I on here to offset all the running?
Yeah, you metaphorically run things. They physically run, like, just constantly. I'm actually surprised we got them to sit down long enough for this. All right, the way it works, if you haven't seen it before, we've got 3 guests, 3 topics, 60 seconds per topic. I'm explaining this to Adam knowing that he hasn't looked at the email, so this is useful for him in particular. 3 guests, 3 topics, 60 seconds per topic. If you go over, you get muted. Everybody can see the little clock in the top corner, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. If you go over, you get muted. Oh, I might use this one instead, actually. I want to try this one. If you go over, you get muted, you get points for varying things, like hotness of take or, passionate delivery or like specifics. You lose points or you get points withheld for, like fence sitting or, well, it depends, or, well, that would be an ecumenical matter, or whatever your answer might be. Okay, our first topic for today. Adam, you're closest to me, so you'll be fucking thrilled to know that you're going first, considering you haven't even looked at the questions. So obviously, small bit of coverage over the last few days about quarterfinals this year. Some of the penalties, some of the means through which the penalties were delivered, and there's been a lot of in memoriam black and white pictures going up over the last 4 or 5 days of people who are upset at missing out. Dave Castro did his week in review the other day, and in it he kind of hinted that things would not remain the same for the 2025 season. So my question to you guys is, how do you fix 2025 quarterfinals? Adam, you're up first. You got 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
3, 2, 1, go. I think this is a very simple fix, actually. I think there were 2 pain points in online competitions. And I think the first pain point is throwing in new movements with lack of communication on standards. And then the second pain point is, I think, lack of communication in general. So I think the way that you fix this is for the online portion of the season, the open and the quarterfinals, there is a CrossFit book of 50 set movements that these are the movements we have to pick from. I know that takes out the unknown and unknowable. However, I think when you get to semifinals and the games, that's when you add that in. But movements, standards, you have all year to practice them. That's what the games has to pick from the open and quarterfinals. But then CrossFit really just needs a team of people, enough people that can respond to emails in a timely manner. I think you do those 2 things, it fixes this right away.
Nicely done. God, for a man who didn't prepare. Scott, you're up second. You got 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
I think the assumption is that this needs fixed. I don't think it needs fixed. This is what we've needed for a long time. I've seen too many competitions where people with shit videos move on to the next level of competition and then don't have the capacity or the skill to complete the movements. So I think they should lean into this, make sure they can review all the videos, back up quarters to start right after the open, giving them 2 extra weeks for video review. And then to piggyback on what Adam said, they should have athlete, like they do at live competitions, an athlete meeting where they talk about the movements and the standards that should be met each week or for each event of quarterfinals.
Nicely done. All right, Harriet, you're up. You've got 60 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
Definitely don't lean into it. It's not fair. It's not fair on the athletes that spend all their time, training for this. It's bullshit, quite frankly. I think definitely it needs to be a standard thing. It needs to be stop changing the movements. Why not do a box step over instead of a box step up? It's clear that you don't have to. You're still going to get the same stimulus for the workout by doing a step over than a step up. And we're not just changing these movements and standards. There was something like the wall ball a couple of years ago when they said it was no longer below the line. It was now above the height of the line. Stupid stuff like that. We still have the same movement. Set the standards, keep with them. And then I would also say add more workouts, add more depth, more scope of workouts is going to help people so they don't get absolutely screwed by one workout if at the end of the day the standards do kind of slip or whatever it might happen.
Cool. All right. I need to change this to 20 seconds. I kind of like my new clock. Adam, you obviously know because you've definitely watched this every week. All right. Adam, you've got 20 seconds now. You can either build. I need to explain to you every time what we're doing because you don't know what we're doing. So you got 20 seconds rebuttal.
Get on this?
So you can criticize something Scott has said or something that Harriet has said, or you can build upon something they've said, or you can finish off your own point or change your mind or improve on your own point. You got 20 seconds. The time starts now. Off you go.
I don't change my stance, but I do see the side where this was a long time coming and we need to lean into this because I was one of those guys trying to get into semifinals and people would make it who had no business being in there. So not that it puts me on the fence, but like I do see that side of it. I do like that as an athlete, but it puts it on the athlete.
You're right. All right, Scott, you're up. You got 20 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
So I completely disagree with Harriet. This needs to happen. At the end of the day, after all the noise is gone, we've only lost 5 former games athletes in this. One that finished in the top 10, one with the best finish of 15th. The others never made the cut, and one who hasn't been there since 2020.
All right, Harriet, 20 seconds. Off you go.
Once again, I think, look, if we don't have to lean into the fact that we cut all these people because we have more workouts and we have more standards, at the end of the day, I don't think it will be an issue.
Right. Maybe I should have kept that one at the end. I feel like if we had more time at the end, that Harriet and Scott might have actually fought each other there. Okay. I need to show names and then I need to put up scores.
Oh, we get a scoreboard?
Yep. Adam, I'm just going to take out your second name so I have space. This is like, I should have music or something that's, tension building. All right. Scores at the end of that one. Harriet's on 2, Adam's on 2, Scott's on 3. I was not expecting Scott to come out that hot. That was,
You just liked his hot take.
It was a hot take, but I think like he backed it up with stats towards the end. Like, yeah, savagery. Backed it up with stats towards the end. He had like the list, how many people, were missing out. Like the well-known names are missing out, and what they're. It's not like a former games champ, or like the last 3 podiums is missing or something, which I thought was a great stat to throw in at the end as well. I understand where Harriet is coming from, and I think that was part of the reason that I wanted this question this week with you 3 was because there'd be 3 various different types of opinions on it. Okay, our second topic, Scott, you're up next. You're going first on this one. So let me just see if I can share this. I'm working on my laptop and it's really fucking small. Okay, bear with longer. Okay, that's a massive clock. There we go. There's an L in there. All right, so there was an interview or a piece in the New York Times about Hyrox this week by Callum Marsh. And in it, founder Christian, the founder of Hyrox, I'm not even going to bother trying to say that, was talking about the race, and he was talking about the links to CrossFit. And he said that he added that he tried CrossFit himself, and he thought it was a bit too much, a bit too hard, and too injury heavy. So my question for you guys is, given the power to do so, What movement would you remove from CrossFit? And first up is Scott. There's so much clicking going on here, like you don't even know. Try and get this back where it was. Okay, Scott, you're up first. So given the power, it was king for a day, but then I felt bad about Harriet and I didn't want to put king/queen, so I just changed it to give the power. Given the power, what one movement would you remove from CrossFit? Scott, you're up first. You've got 60 seconds. Off you go.
So the movement I would remove is running. And now let's talk about this joker from Hyrox. Hyrox is a sport. CrossFit is a methodology that the sport grew out of. Who watches sport for safety? Nobody. Let's call the Olympics and have them put a cap on the pole vault because it might get scary above 10 feet. I mean, come on. The reason people left Globo gyms was because it was doing the same thing over and over and over again. CrossFit gives you a varied stimulus that you can hit all the different movements. Reaching goals never comes easy. I can't believe the owner of Hyrox said he couldn't do CrossFit because it was hard. We do things like this because it is hard. That helps us achieve our goals. I guess if you don't want to do hard things, go do Hyrox sponsored by Ozempic at this point, because apparently they want the easy miracle drug.
God damn. All right, Harriet, you're up next. You got 60 seconds. Off you go.
Yeah, firstly, I think it's big shots fired by the Hyrox community, just because probably a whole foundation of their people competing are going to be CrossFitters. So it's probably not the smartest thing to say. But in regards to movements and what should be taken out and kept in, I think it's very different when we talk about CrossFit as a sport and CrossFit as GPP training. Most general population people, we don't need a handstand push-up. We don't need a ring muscle up. We don't need a snatch. Sure, we want athletes to be powerful, explosive, functional, but at the end of the day, do they need to do a ring muscle up? Do they need to lift extremely heavy loads under fatigue? Probably not. There's no need for RX in our classes, because that's going to be, that percentage is probably pretty inaccurate in a large group of people. What that load is to you might be different to me. So I think we need to think about the movements and the loads that we're prescribing to be changed.
All right, Adam, you got 60 seconds. Off you go.
All right, hot take. I'm going to disagree with both of you guys, and I definitely don't think running should be removed. If you look at the pyramid, metabolic conditioning is literally at the base of that, and running is the most primitive way to accomplish and focus on that. I actually don't think that any movements need to be removed from CrossFit. I think this falls on the coaches. I was a coach, so I put myself in that bucket, but I think CrossFit, whether you're GPP, general population, or you're that CrossFit athlete, you have to have goals for people to progress in their fitness. And it is dependent on the coach being able to coach properly and progress these people efficiently and to keep them injury free. My argument is a good coach will keep people injury free from the most part if they skill them appropriately and at appropriate times and build strength through these movements. So I don't think any movements should be removed from CrossFit. That's what makes CrossFit CrossFit.
Good stuff. All right. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say good stuff this week, and I said it. Fuck. Adam, you obviously get that because you watch it every week. All right, Scott, you've got 20 seconds for your rebuttal. Time starts now. Off you go.
Actually, I agree with Adam. I don't think any movement should be removed. Actually, mastering those hard skills is what keeps bringing people back to the gym. We want to do hard things. We want to make those accomplishments and celebrate those accomplishments. That's why it's hard, and that's why it's cool.
Harriet, 20 seconds. Off you go.
I think at the end of the day, though, we have to admit that not every gym has good coaches. And so for us to then come back and rely on the coaches in order to set those standards and then kind of reduce those movements depending on the person, it just doesn't happen. So if we kind of tackle it from the start by the movements, we're probably better off.
That was very well timed. Adam, last 20 seconds. Off you go.
I stand by what I said. I think it's survival of the fittest. And if your coaches aren't up to snuff, that's what makes a gym not successful. And I think we've seen gyms come and go for those reasons. And again, I really just think it all falls on the coaches.
Cool. All right. I'll do up some scores, get scores on the doors.
This is like whose line is it anyways, where like the points really don't matter. You're just making it up.
No, shut the fuck up. They matter. You watch your mouth.
It's like whose
Don't-
opinion matters more.
Don't come around here and
I
unravel.
don't get 3 points on this.
Yeah, you just lost yourself a point for
See
that
me
remark.
ever again on here.
It's interesting though as well. I mean, obviously the New York Times is a piece of shit that you wouldn't wipe your ass with, but it's interesting that in the article, I wonder, like, I'm curious, did Don Fall see what was said before he gave his quote? Like, he gave a quote back, and I'm wondering, did they say, hey, Christian, whatever his name is, Twix, that started this, said that it's dangerous or whatever? Because Don's is really complimentary. Like, Don's is like, look, candidly, I think they're smart trying to leverage it. When you're trying to enter a new space, you define yourself again. Whereas what he should have said was, fuck Hyrox, they should squat to death on their wall balls, and then just leave it at that. So yeah, it's interesting. I kind of have to think he didn't. He wasn't told what they said first, which would be par for the course for the New York Times. But anyway, all right. Scores. I need to hide this. There we go. So Harriet's on 3.5. Adam pulled ahead there. Pulled ahead there at the end. With his CrossFit is open source, and it's, you really do have to separate yourself. And Scott again wins that second round as well. He's on 5. We've 1 round left to go.
Can we set our own scores as well, or?
You can, but you can also start your own debate show and then invite people onto it, and then just like, what people in the comments don't realize is I'm just giving out points based on eye color. That was that last round. Let's see. I have 50-year-old moms in my class. I should have read this before I pulled it up. I have 50-year-old moms in my classes that I push to get inverted as often as possible, and they're so proud of themselves when they progress their skills. CrossFit is meant to push yourself to do hard stuff. I mean, I don't think anybody pushes anybody to get inverted more than Harriet Roberts does. That's like her shtick, is like getting upside down. Running this year as well, obviously. Okay, wow, interesting. Running outside for distance isn't necessary. Yeah, when are you ever going to need to do that? It's not functional at all that you might need to run somewhere outside. I assume that was tongue-in-cheek. I don't know. Anything else? A bad coach at Loba gym can hurt just as easily. That's true. Pickleball is more dangerous than CrossFit. Isn't that something like, isn't it a similar stat, the one that they used against CrossFit, which wasn't technically true, but because of the way you word it, it becomes true. So like, pickleball has caused more injuries in the last 12 months than any other sport, but it's like, because more people are playing it all of a sudden or something. There's some kind of, I know there's a trick to that stat, but I can't remember what it is. And it's the same trick that they used against CrossFit, like, whatever, 10 years ago or whatever. Do you all have your level 1? Everyone here has a level 1, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah. You're probably more than a level 1, Harriet, are you? Are you level 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Are you level 2 as well, Adam? Mm-hmm. I'm reading the level 2 manual, but I'm not doing it. I'm just reading it. I actually paid $100 and something or something. I can't remember what it was, 80 something euro to get the level 2 manual printed. I downloaded the PDF, sent it, got it printed, it came back, and I was like, fuck, this thing is massive. And then I like started reading it, and I was like, I swear I read that like 2 minutes ago. And then I realized that every page was duplicated. So every second page was the same page twice. Anyway.
You could have bought a Kindle for that price.
Yeah, what I should have done is like rebound the pages that I tore out, and then I should have done that, but I didn't think of it. Okay. We have you should capitalize all Hyrox letters. They get upset when you don't. Okay, well, I'll remove the fucking letters then. Okay, Harriet, you're up first on the last one. We have Torian coming up in Oceania, which is notorious for being just like packed to the rafters, really like full on huge display. We've got French Throwdown in France for Europe, similarly huge crowds expected there, same as there was in Germany last year. Africa and Asia, I don't know. I've never actually seen footage inside any of the arenas to comment on what they're like, but I assume they're like fine. I don't know. Historically, the North American semifinals have struggled for attendance. Don Fall, the CEO, has said on previous occasions that it's tricky because it's in those kind of event conference center scenarios, and it's a hard sell compared to the stadiums across the pond. There have been rumors of ticket sale being slow for the North American semifinals this go around, which is kind of mirroring what's happened in the past. My question to you guys is, fucking hell, that was a long intro. My question to you guys is, Harriet, you're going first. The question is, how can they increase ticket sales? So we've seen in the last, like, I don't know, hour, CrossFit have started putting up links to buy tickets. They've, you know, sunk to the depths of hiring John Woolley to make Was Great Again to help with ticket sales. So it's almost like they want to stop selling tickets altogether. Harriet, you got 60 seconds. Your time starts now. Off you go.
What I can say is the guys at Torian do an amazing event. They give the people a reason to go other than just watching CrossFit. Mike and Jono make it more than just a CrossFit event. It's an environment. It's an atmosphere. They give people FOMO for not showing up. There's a whole lot of kind of cultural recognition and dances that go on. There's awesome shopping where people can actually get products that you can't get in different releases. There's community. There is probably the biggest thing and the number one thing is that they don't just run the elites. They've also developed it into a team competition. They have masters, they have teams as well, and they're in a separate arena outside. So then it's going to welcome a whole lot of people who are there to support not just the elites, but also come and support the intermediate to advanced athletes as well.
All right, Adam, you're up. You got 60 seconds. Off you go.
I might get kicked off the show for this one, but you partner with Hyrox. You have a ton of fitness junkies that are going to sit in a stadium for 3 days to watch semifinals. You do Hyrox on the first day, and then everybody stays and watches semifinals. Maybe they get a discount on tickets on the weekend, and they have a whole, like Harriet is saying, a whole experience, a fitness experience where they get to participate in something that they may or may not have done before, right? Like Hyrox is like a weekend warrior type thing, like a mud run. You don't like actually really have to train for it. It's not anybody's sport. It's like you go and do it, you get your workout in, but then you can enjoy the rest of the weekend and watch fitness. So I have my own feelings towards Hyrox, but it's getting popular in the US. People are curious. You throw a Hyrox race right at the beginning or at day one where people can come compete all levels and then stay and watch the competition.
Scott, 60 seconds. Off you go.
And Hyrox is safe, so your crowd is not going to be injured in the stand. So this is a bed that CrossFit has made a long time ago, and now they're forced to lay in it. They have done nothing but feature the top 5 athletes for 10 years with all of their media. And then the third-party media who actually give some time to these other athletes, like Peter and myself, don't get shared, don't get leveraged on these large social media entities that CrossFit owns, when it'd be as simple as just pushing a share button or sharing it on their YouTube channel. I agree kind of with both of you about stealing the good ideas from other events. Torian is a rock show. I am so jealous of what you guys do down there compared to what we do here. I would love to see that in the States. And like Adam said, partner with other, look what Rogue does with Strongman. Look what Wodapalooza does with the venue itself. Do those things, make it awesome, and then people will come out for other reasons.
Oh, I nearly got to meet you. Fuck. That was close. All right, Harriet, you're up. You got 20 seconds. Time starts now. Off you go.
I think we have the answer. I think collaboration is king, whether it's with social media, whether it's with other marketing companies, or whether it's with other sports. I went to a fitness expo the other day and there was bodybuilders there was calisthenics athletes, there was all sorts of things, and that's the way to go, 100%.
Adam, 20 seconds. Off you go.
I agreed. I think we're all on the same page. I want CrossFit to succeed, but they keep seemingly shooting themselves in the foot time after time, and we can't seem to make any forward progress. So I do think collaboration and pulling people from different experiences and different niches are what we have to do at this point.
And Scott, last 20 seconds.
To be unique, I'm going to say that we don't know who the young and up and coming stars are in the sport because they're never featured in the media and they're never shared when they're on other shows. We really need to push CrossFit to get off their ass and do something about it.
Yeah, I kind of think that my stuff doesn't really deserve to be shared, so I'd just like to distance myself from Scott's comments. All right. I'll just do up some scores. Dun, dun, dun. Are Rad going to any of the semifinals, Adam?
We'll be there.
Cool. Feel free not to give any additional details.
in our normal fashion, we'll be doing some community stuff, and then you can expect. We're secretive. We don't tell anything until the day before, but you can expect us to show up how we normally do.
I was going to take up running, but your running shoes are never in stock.
We just revamped them. That's why they're back on the site. We tuned them up. We made them better, and they're back. Also, I don't run as much as you think anymore.
No, you just do one stupidly long run a year and then don't run again. All right, JR actually has a decent idea. Give every qualifier a personal code or QR code. Give them a kickback to athletes based on how many use theirs to buy a ticket. That's actually a good idea.
It's almost like JR should work for CrossFit.
It almost is, or just other events too. Interestingly, actually, people who had their eyes open might have seen that Crescendo was on at the weekend, team competition. You would have loved it, Harriet, back. You did team in Wadapalooza, didn't you? With Mickey Smith and you would have loved it. And they all the volunteers there wore rad shoes. That was cool, wasn't it? It's weird how these kind of collaborations start up.
Weird.
Yep, there you go. My Crescendo volunteers would agree. JR wins plus 10 points, wins from the chat for one idea. All right, let's show some scores. So Harriet did really well in that last round, actually. Don't know why I said actually. That made it sound like I was shocked that she did well. Did really well in that last round, despite insulting the scoring system of the show before that. I think everyone agrees that Torian is just like no other event really comes close. Like Wadapalooza maybe, but no other event really comes close, and it's just sickening that it's so far away from everyone that isn't in Oceania. I think there was great points raised. Scott basically one of the first two rounds just bossed the first two rounds, and that kept him ahead. Adam, for someone who literally looked at the questions as they were appearing on screen, I'm pretty impressed at how well you managed to do. You were obviously quite good at not studying and then just bullshitting your way through exams and stuff when you were in school too, I'm guessing.
You saw me looking off the screen. I was looking on my phone and trying to find the questions.
All right. So you obviously didn't know this was happening either, Scott. Adam, which is probably best then that you didn't win. So Scott, you now have 30 seconds. I always, every fucking week, I close my timer before the end of the show, and then I'm like, shit, I need my timer for the end. Scott, you now have 30 seconds to talk about whatever topic you want. You can talk about the, lack of evidence there is for running being a positive thing for, legs or whatever. Or you can talk about the short stockedness of rad or ones or whatever you want to talk about. You got 30 seconds, Scott. Floor is yours. Off you go.
Today is my mother's 79th birthday. At the age of 65, she lost 125 pounds, got her life back, ran 55 Ks. And she is still living that life 15 years later. So proud of that woman. She has taught me so much in my life. And I just want to give her a huge shout out on her 79th birthday. Happy birthday, Mama Switzer.
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. I hate to break it, not a fucking chance she watches this show. But congratulations to her. That's incredible. She ran 55 Ks. Wow, and Adam ran 55K once. So they have that in common. That's crazy though. Jeez, that's like she really got her life back. She probably wouldn't be here had she not made those changes. That's incredible. All right, Adam, thank you very much. Harriet, I'm sorry you didn't win when you got up early, but thank you. I appreciate you giving up your time. If anybody wants, you can find Harriet on Instagram. She's got loads of tips for especially gymnastics, but just coaching in general. Got an incredible little, well, it's not really that little, incredible medium-sized gym. And it's a cool page to follow. Adam, if you want to watch someone silently training at home, like I do, and not dropping the bar and stuff because kids are asleep and that kind of things. And if you want to watch someone and think fuck, that guy is so busy and he's always traveling and he's in amazing shape and he still manages to find time to train, and I fucking hate him, but I also respect him and like him, and it's really confusing. If you want those kind of conflicting feelings, follow Adam. And Clydesdale Media for all of your news, a absolute shit ton of semi-final interviews coming up over the next few weeks as well. Keep an eye out there. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you, everyone.